Hello, this is Lex from DeadGentry, and this is a video about the D23 2024 Anaheim Convention. So Disney always does things big, and this is going to be a photo archive from the event. We tried to get a little bit of everything, a little bit of overview, not including announcements. We know everyone makes videos about announcements. But instead, this is just a little overview of the event itself. It was huge. We did try to get a little bit of everything. And even more important for collectors, possibly at a later date, looking to see which pieces came from the 2024 convention, we did try to get some photo archives of a lot of the merchandise that was available while we were there. So huge, beautiful, brightly lit convention center, absolutely massive. The halls were massive. You had to take shuttles from building to building. The virtual queues, I have to admit, were very confusing. A lot of people had problems with them. You basically had to get in line to stand in a line, and only if you had a queue code were you even able to do that. But still, it's a massive undertaking with this many people, so we understand the need for virtual queues. Hulu was there, ESPN was there, pretty much everyone that Disney has ever owned or collaborated with shows up on site. So here was the Disney Studios store. The line for that actually had these adorable little Hollywood studio stars on the ground while you waited in line with different character names. It was very cute. This is just a shot of the cafeteria. I guess we were just walking by at some point and grabbed that. The Imagineering area had these wonderful panels going about every half hour. So here you can see this was on robot droids, where they came on stage and they interacted with their Imagineers. It was really wonderful. You got to see and learn so much. And then these panels throughout the day would actually change over. So about half an hour to an hour, and then 15 minutes later, a new Imagineer or a new topic would come up on stage. Absolutely fun just to hang out in the Imagineering area and just watch these panels all day if you had time to do that. A lot of people live streamed this. So if you have any interest in any of these specific Imagineers or the topics they were discussing, you could definitely go back, I'm sure, on YouTube and find a lot of information about that. I really enjoyed the little droids. These are the same droids that now walk around some of the parks and interact. And they had them out on the floor walking up to guests. This one took a snapshot of me while I was taking a snapshot of him. It was very, very cute. But these were absolutely adorable. Moving on, I love the droids. They're very personable. This was an animatronics display that showed from Frozen, where the animatronic was actually singing, and then the arm movement, if you see the robot arms over on the other side of the screen there, was moving in conjunction with her singing. So you can kind of see the different functions and parts of the animatronics that are used to make full ride pieces. It was very cool. There was background video that was showing all about Pirates of the Caribbean inside of this display. Very fun. This was a sculpture studio. They had artists live carving this piece throughout the entire day. It was absolutely exquisite. And that's just some of the sort of stuff you can see at these events. Here was Tiana's Bayou Adventure, theming and creation, a massive display on that. Costume pieces, wigs, paraphernalia, the theming and creation of the characters for the rides and for the ride itself. There's a beautiful representation of a handmade dress by the costuming department. Just a lot of fun to look at, a lot of fun to take in all the information. And each of these display panels had Imagineers or creative designers on site to discuss them as well. So you could learn a ton of information. And they were all very friendly, just amazing. Disney always is. There you see model beignets. So prop work, all of the design that goes into every blade of grass, every piece of, like, the bags of chips prop design. It was just incredible. This is actually a scale model rendering of the Tinkerbell buggies from one of the rides. Again, just absolutely beautiful. A lot of fun. In the background, again, constant videos displaying different ride creations, sculpting of terrain, all sorts of just really interesting from an engineering point of view, an Imagineering point of view, and also just fun and wonderful. The costume department had this panel going. They had a whole wall to themselves. So here you see, I believe it's Minnie's Halloween costume. So it goes from one side to the other. You're looking at concept and then design and then delivery. So really showing like the steps they take and the storyboarding they go through, every little element in order to bring even something like the costume on a character in the parks that you go and take photos and get signatures from into creation, into full life realization. Just absolutely beautiful. The amount of attention to detail and creativity that goes into these designs, just incredible. And again, the Imagineers in the costume department, people were right there to discuss their creations. Like, did you know how big the shoes and the gloves are for the character costumes? Because they're massive, right? So, but you actually got to talk to and interact with the people that design these things and have to make them functional in the process they go through. I would absolutely bring children to D23. I know the lines are long, but if they are looking for a future career in any one of these, they can learn so much. They will be so inspired. And it's just a great day. It's a lot of fun. And from a Disney collector's point of view, in the background there, you can see some of the pieces from It's a Small World costume design. I think I took quite a few photos of those. I tried to snag a few photos of those in the background. They were kind of hidden, but very, very impressive. So just a really, really good time. Like, did you know, I learned while talking to the people from the costume department that they design the name tags for all the different Disney employees in the parks, for the different kingdoms, the different types of employees. They actually design the name tags themselves. They had a board displaying it. It's right here. I took a picture of the board. No one really thinks about that, but a lot of work goes into all those little details. Just beautiful and so much fun to watch. There's so many crowds. I think I was just at some points, I was just taking pictures of the crowds as well, like in the background. This was an area that was all about special effects, especially smaller special effects and condensed spaces. It seemed like they were very focused on that. So not so much, huge ride attraction special effects, but smaller pieces. Like this is an illusionary soda can inside of a box. Here they had graphics that were created in water. So moving water. See here, there's a little spiral. Can you see it in the tank of water? Just barely there. And then this was a hologram projection, I believe, of like a warp core or something like that. So just amazing lights and electronics and things of that nature. And then coming up, I think, because this was the shark. You see the shark in the tank, the things they can project into water. Just all sorts of different effects and lights and movement and the things they use to create larger thematic projections. I'm not sure what this blue ring was. I remember seeing it and thinking it was very pretty. It reminded me of Avatar. This piece was a Beauty and the Beast, how they create Beast's transformation into the prince in one of the rides. Here, these pictures aren't going to do it justice when you see the alien and the pizza. These were 3D holograms in real time, floating in space. They were absolutely brilliant. Some of the best I've ever seen. A two-dimensional image like this is really not going to convey that, but they were amazing. And then they had things like this. So this isn't an animatronic. This was a photo op. All around the D23 event, when you're walking around, there's the Loungefly store. You had these photo ops with full-size scale models, and they were absolutely beautiful. Lorcana card collectors, the lines were out of control. I don't know how you got in there. I don't know how you managed to get those packs of the special release edition cards. If you did, good for you. The lines were insane. They were wrapped around the building. Again, beautiful photo op opportunities like this where you could walk in and take your picture with full-size characters. This is coming up as one of my favorites, Buzz. They had Buzz, they had Woody. It was absolutely beautiful. Lots of crowds again. I think this was in Hall C. This, again, was one of the Imagineering or creation panels. This was the making of Elemental, the movie. They had speakers. Wonderful, wonderful. If you can sit and watch almost like the lectures and comedic, some of them were very funny and you learn a lot. Zootopia photo op here. Here's another angle of that, the Tiana from the Bayou photo op. Very cool. Scale models of the parks rendered in immaculate detail. This was one of my favorite panels from the Imagineering area. Lanny Smoot, who won the Inventors Award, the same award that Disney won a very long time ago. He made the most realistic lightsaber, as you can see there. He created the hollow floors for Disney ships that are interactive. This man, he created the living water that plays music and the new living water attractions for Moana. Just again, this was from the Haunted Mansion. He was talking about how he created the immediate effect during the lightning of the paintings changing. Just an incredible inventor from Disney's Invention Imagineering department. Just absolutely amazing. This was photo op. Photo op, right? Here goes another one, probably photo op. These were everywhere. They were beautiful. They were fun. This was a very fancy one. Just a few more fun photos of some of the incredible event displays they had. Scale models of the Disney ships. They did announce 4 new ships entering their fleet. I know I said no announcements, but Disney's going to have a floating city. And if you've ever seen the documentaries on the Disney ships, they are incredible. Cosplayers, here you have the Hatbox Ghost, the Bride from Haunted Mansion, incredible cosplayers. Madame Leota, on her table, the full table. So many props to this cosplayer. They had to have a crew with them so that they could walk around. It was incredible. People take their costumes very seriously at these events. They had a car show, a Disney car show that you could walk through. All the Cruella de Vil cars, as you see here. There was so many things to look at in all the different halls that even if you had passes for all 3 days, you're going to have missed something. So just be aware. Like, this is Mickey's Roadster. How amazing is that? But there was so much to look at, so much to do, even before merchandise. Oh my gosh, this was one of my favorites. This was a Main Street buggy that Walt used to ride in the 60s. They had a picture there of Walt riding in it. Absolutely amazing to get to see all these vehicles in person. Vintage tram cars for the people that really love the transportation devices. Like if you collect monorails, don't be surprised if you can now maybe hunt down a vintage tram pin, because they did have that car on display. I really liked the car show. I took a lot of pictures of the car show, the A-Team's van. And where else are you going to get to see that? So much fun. Now let's maybe after all these pictures of different events and panels and displays that were available for everyone to enjoy, there was also merchandise. A majority of what was there, oh my gosh, Toy Story, Pizza Planet. The Pizza Planet truck. Okay. So Citizen watches, for example, Citizen was on site selling watches. The marketplace, the Disney marketplace, there were quite a few. You had Disney Hollywood Studios. You had Disney of Greenland something. There was 5 or 6 very Disney based before you even had collaborative second and third party sellers like Citizen, Loungefly. Cake was there. There were so many. Target, I remember, had a huge area. I wasn't super impressed by Target. And they did give away the Target dog pins exclusive to the event, and each day had a different pin that you could get. So if you're looking for those in the future, you can maybe suss those out. But I wasn't overwhelmed. I wasn't really expecting Target to be there, and I wasn't thrilled to see that they had such a big space. But Funko was on site. Target had Funko. Funko themselves was distributing Funko, and Disney was distributing Funko as well. Big Disney Munchlings displays. Munchlings, very collectible right now, kind of new, and people are really going after them. The information, like these panels on the designers and the creators, so much fun. You could read so much information while you were shopping. Here's a collectible Stife Bambi that was being sold on site. Absolutely beautiful Steiff collectible. I think Bambi was in the $200 to $300 range, as was Donald, if I remember correctly. Yeah, that seems right. There you go. There's the price. I'm so glad I took a picture of that. So $325 for Donald. I think Bambi was in the same price range. For the collectors who are maybe see that at a future date, grab Bambi, grab Donald, grab a Dalmatian from Steiff. Absolutely. Not everything was exclusive at the event. So these were the Midnight Masquerade dolls that are coming up next, and I'll do a little close-up of each one here, I think. But so there were exclusives, and I'll try to point them out. I tried to get photos of as many as I could, just for archival reasons. But a lot of the merchandise that was at D23 that wasn't exclusive, I was noticing was selling out very quickly online as well. So collectible in its own right, even if it wasn't exclusive to the event. These dolls, these Midnight Masquerade dolls, were so beautiful. And so, look at, is that not incredible? Like, look at his mask. So again, maybe you find this t-shirt at a later date. Maybe you find this hoodie, this blue Mickey hoodie. Now you'll know where it came from, who was producing it, who was merchandising it, and that it was available at the D23 2024. Sorry, it's a lot of numbers. At the D23 2024 event. This was a Haunted Mansion display. There were so many booths, you guys. If I can't keep up with the slideshow, please forgive me. For our pin collectors, this is a little more specific for you. Feel free to stop the video, pause it so you can stare at everything. Around $30 to $50 each for the non-exclusive pins. Look at the little sold out stickers. See how there's already sold out stickers on this sign? Stitch was selling out like crazy. Venom seemed to be going very, very quickly. There were certain, they're all sold out. Look at that top row. Is that not incredible? And that was the first day of the event. Those pins were already sold out. This was from the Disney Studios store, so kind of like the Hollywood Disney. And the pins were going absolutely... So they had specialty release ones that were released on each day, and you were only allowed 2 per customer. And I will try to put, if there's pictures in here, I'll try to point them out. The pins on the boards that were selling out so quickly were not exclusive by the day or even to D23. But I gotta tell you, quite a few that I went and checked online after the event were no longer available anywhere. So it seemed like merchandise, look at this cute little stitching popcorn. It seemed like merchandise from the event was selling out online. So it was almost like, even though it wasn't D23 exclusive, it was date and time exclusive because people were seeking it out when it wasn't available there anymore and was already sold out, and were selling it out online as well. Quickly just buying it as fast as possible. You might have to zoom in to see those prices. I think I was a little far back. I was taking a lot of photos very quickly. I apologize if you can't see everything clearly, but this should help give you an idea. These were all pins that were available 2024 in Anaheim at the D23. In case you have any of them or come across them in the future as a collector, so that you can maybe date them a bit and get some sort of an archive going of images. These were the reels, the Hollywood reels. These were very popular. Also, the storybook pins seem to be very, very popular. The pins that open, of course, tend to be worth more money. Collectors love them. But the storybook sold out very quickly. The reels sold out very quickly. Anything Lilo and Stitch, anything Venom, gone. Oh, Nightmare Before Christmas as well. Nightmare Before Christmas, NBC, was flying off the shelves. Even with the limit per customer, 2 per customer, 1 per customer, depending on the merchandiser, absolutely disappearing. These were beautiful. They had displayed framed sets that were available for sale, most in the $1,500 to $3,000 range for any one of these sets. These are some of my favorites. Everybody loves the little cuties, and they really are cute. Expensive, $2,000 to $3,000 per framed set, but adorable, highly collectible, hard to get all of them together. So when you can buy them in a pre-framed piece like this from a merchandiser on site, I know a lot of collectors who love that. So, oh, look at the Big Hero 6. I'm distracted watching the images go by. So again, to give you a sense of some of what was available and wear and kind of what the prices were like. I will say that pins on site that were $15, here's some more photo op shots, were selling, I saw, for through resellers. It's another great photo op, a 3D photo op. For $50 to $80 to $120, and $30 to $50 pins were selling $250 to $300. Immediately on site through auctions, things like Whatnot, eBay, live streaming, selling through YouTube, things of that nature. This merchandise, even reselling, was skyrocketing. So just be aware of that. If you're looking to collect some of these pieces, you might want to wait for the event to kind of die down a little bit. I love the Muppets. I couldn't help it. I had to take a picture of that t-shirt. Or here's the other thing I'll say. If you didn't get one, you now might not be able to, because collectors came for these objects and you might not see them available publicly or public facing for a very long time, even through resellers. So as you can see here, this was Loungefly was on site. They had some exclusive merchandise. Not everything was exclusive, but again, even the things that weren't exclusive, things as simple as ticket lanyards were selling out by the thousands online because they were being offered at the event, and people waiting in line were buying them online if they were available while waiting to get into the retailer and then buy the things that were exclusive while they were on site. Does that make sense? So almost everything you see here, you're probably going to have a very hard time finding later. Again, 2024, give you an idea of what the original price on site in Anaheim was. These were the boards they had up. They'd hand out pamphlets of prices. You had a lot of time. You had a lot of time standing in the lines. So sometimes they gave you like scavenger hunts or little quizzes to play with and stuff like that while you were waiting in line before you got to the store. So basically, by the time you got into the merchandiser's tent, you had already been picking out what you wanted for 45 minutes and could just then go pick it and order it and leave. The lines were very long. This was a D23 exclusive, this Mickey flannel. I remember that was an exclusive. These pieces you're seeing here, these were from the pin store, and these were exclusive as well. I believe this was either Cake Worthy or the pin store. A lot of them were selling out. Some of them were only available on certain days. All of these little coin pouches, these were all D23 exclusive pieces. I think it might even say that if you were to pause the video and read the fine print at the bottom of the brochure. I was taking pictures of the brochure while I was waiting in line. Yeah, see where you can kind of see where it says exclusive in orange there. So a lot of these things, if you see them later on the open market and you were wondering which ones were a little more rare, a little harder to get, again, sometimes limited to 1 or 2 per customer, these are the pieces you want to be keeping an eye out for as a collector. Those Nightmare Before Christmas, everywhere I went, Nightmare Before Christmas seemed to be sold out before noon. Same thing with Stitch. Beautiful exclusive watch. I think this was around $200, the watch. Lovely pin display here. A little bit closer for you so you can get an idea. These are very collectible. The jars with the characters inside of them, people love these. I really love the ones from Wreck-It Ralph myself. It's one of my favorites. So again, if you're looking for dating merchandise that was available in 2024 at D23, these are some of the collectible pieces. This was an all Stitch Elvis. I had to stop. This was one of the last people on site that had Stitch available because they had just brought so much of it to merchandise and retail, which was amazing, but it was all Elvis Stitch. So it was Stitch, but every single one had to have Elvis theming. Absolutely adorable retailer, had a ton of fun looking at their merch. Super, super cute. And as I said, it was nice that they were there. They had a photo op with a huge plush Stitch that you could do for free as well. It was nice they were there because Stitch was selling out from all the pin stores, all the Loungefly bags, everywhere. I noticed too, Winnie the Pooh seemed to be, this was a D23 exclusive set, I believe. There's another really great shot of a D23 exclusive Stitch set. If you're wondering what that looks like in the future, they were metallic, very pretty. And then this was D23 exclusive Nightmare pieces. These were being done through Dunny. There's the Target pop toys I mentioned before. They are exclusive. I included them in the video. Thank you guys for hanging out with me, and I hope this little photo archive helps. Thank you so much.